Today I'm going to be doing a book review of the book called Blackhearts by Nicole Castroman. I just picked it up honestly the other day. It's taken me about a week to read, and I just felt like it's something I wanted to review. So let's just start off the bat by saying it actually just got released in February. So it's very, very brand new. I hadn't heard of it. This isn't something like I networked about. I honestly just walked into Kohl's and saw it on the shelf and thought, that looks cool. So let's start with cover. So the cover is like a really simple black, ship in a bottle, pink. The inside jacket looks like that. Nothing really going on the inside. It's just black and gray. Nothing really too exciting. And then the back jacket like that with the author like that, and then just the back. Very simple. I really enjoy this cover. It's probably a little oversimplistic, but I really do like it. Obviously the thing that attracted me was the stark black, especially when you think about on a shelf, there's so many colors. There's something about the solid black that just really draws your eye. But also I'm pretty sure the book was sitting this way on the shelf. So the ship in the bottle really is what interested me. And I was wondering what it could possibly be about. And it's kind of about pirates. It's not about pirates, but like it is. I'll have the description down in the description box so you can read it if you already don't know what it's about. So it's called Blackhearts. And I actually, there's like black text up here and then the pink text, or the white text I mean. I didn't actually read the black. I jumped right into the description because usually I don't care about whatever that says. So I didn't know this book is actually about the pirate Blackbeard before he's Blackbeard. And I didn't know that until actually I was halfway through it. And then I got my friend to look at the book and she was like, oh, it's about Blackbeard. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. I had no idea. Which makes sense, I guess, now looking back. The bottle is actually a really cool choice in retrospect after having read the book because it's about wanting to escape but feeling trapped. So right away we're introduced to the themes of escapement and entrapment because those aren't very good English words. You might want to like research some other ones. But like a bottle, the juxtaposition, right? Like a big massive ship is stuck in a tiny, tiny bottle. Why? Like what's going on? I love the simplisticness of it. Today is just not a good word day. But I don't really feel like restarting the video over because like I'm on a roll. So we're just going to keep going. I like a novel by, and then the author is really simple. I read the back, that was cool. That's actually edited. It's not the exact excerpt. It's edited, which is fine, but I just, when I actually read it in the book, I was like, wait, that's not the same. But yeah, I'm happy with it. The only thing that I would have to say is like, this is really boring. That doesn't do a whole lot for me. I feel like the cover and this grayness are like really simplistic. They could have done something on the inside to spice it up. Like, the novel's not really, doesn't really fit, but I was thinking like you could do maps of like oceans and stuff or something, or land masses, because it is set in London and it's about shipping and travel, like that kind of thing. Like one of the characters is a merchant, like that kind of idea. But then I'm like, that doesn't really match. So like pink and black lace, because it is set in the 1600s-ish, approximately. So like some pink and black lace, or like another kind of like that era pattern, I think would have been a nice addition because it's kind of plain. But let's actually talk about some of the characters. So the book shifts between the perspective of Anne and the other character, Teach. So the characters, in my opinion, are okay. I actually probably enjoyed the secondary characters more than the two mains. I felt like the secondary characters got a lot more characterization. We start the book at Anne's perspective, and I like her as a character. She's very determined. She's not going to sit there and take it, which I love in a character, especially female characters, because I love that determination, the brain. She has a good head on her shoulders, and I never once thought she was making a bad decision, which I think is really important. There's a lot of characters where I'm like, that was such a dumb decision. Like, how do you not see that? Teach was pretty good too. I keep banging this table and I'm really sorry. Teach was a good character too. He was also determined, but I would say like maybe less than. very passionate about life, which was really good because I don't want to say Anne, like Anne's character, like this is done on purpose, was kind of dry almost, like she wasn't living life to the fullest, and then Teach kind of comes in and like she has a bit more to her. Yeah, as I said, the secondary characters though, there's a lot of like aristocratic characters, and I felt like they had more detail, like Teach's fiance, Patience, is that her name? I don't remember actually, it was something P. You know, you like see a name and you're just like, okay, that's that character, and you don't actually like take the time to like memorize the name. Is that just me? That might just be me. I hope it's not me, because I feel really bad if it is, but like I'm just like, oh, that's Miss P, like, and I keep reading, because I don't really care. But she was kind of a rich character. Like her mom was only in it for like a chapter and a half, and I feel like she should have been in it more, because she was, the juxtaposition of those characters was like so fun and stuff like that. But I did kind of feel like the main characters were maybe a little static. They're supposed to fall in love, and Anne is like very heels in the ground about it the whole time, and Teach is the one who's like over passionate. And then all of a sudden, partway through the book, Anne's like, yes, no, I do love you. But wait, we just spent like really like 3/4 of the book you didn't, and you kept saying you didn't, and you like, because like propriety and all that, and like it just was weird that all of a sudden out of nowhere she's like, no, yeah, I love you. I was like, what? No, like we didn't have any development into that. I did read the book pretty quickly, like I read probably like half in one sitting, and then the other 2 halves in like one sitting as well, so like 3 sittings in total. So I mean, that's maybe why it felt rushed, but yeah. But let's get to the plot, because I think that'll explain a lot more about the book. So basically kind of what it is, like I'm like, read the description too, is kind of like, so Anne was the daughter of a white merchant and a black slave, and her father treated her really well, but she was still hidden from society, and then her father dies, and then her mother dies, and her stepbrother's an ass, and she ends up in Teach's father's house as a maid. And then like Teach comes home, and like he likes the like animosity between the 2 of them, and like it kind of like spurs this whole thing, and both of them want to get on this one ship called the Deliverance and set sail for foreign lands. Like Anne wants to go because she wants to find her mother's island, because she doesn't feel like she belongs, that kind of thing. So this is in the set in London 1600s. I mean, that's a pretty heavy kind of plot to be dealing with, the idea of like interracial love affairs set in this kind of an era. And I feel like maybe that wasn't like, it was addressed, but like never like explicitly discussed. And then yeah, mainly the other thing too was about the romance. We spent most of the book building up to them be like kind of being together, and then at the end like the plot completely changed, which I'll get to in like the spoilery bits, because we're almost wrapping up. But I want to talk about writing style. Not enough detail. So as I said, it's set in the 1600s London, it's dealing with these intense themes, and it's supposed to be about piracy. Like, there's a lot of shipness going on, right? There's no detail. So like in the opening, Anne goes to the docks. I don't remember feeling the docks. I should smell them, I should taste them, I should hear them, I should feel the grime on my skin to an extent, right? Like, I should feel like I was transported to the docks. The same thing in Drummond's house, like the Lord's house that she's a maid in. I can't paint you a visual of what that looks like. Like, the only reason I could do it was I'd seen enough historical movies, I've read enough historical novels by other people, that I could kind of draw up like what the kitchen might look like, or what the dining room or the bedrooms are going to look like. She, I feel like, didn't do a whole lot of detail. The clothing that Anne puts on, I don't know, the dresses in this era are going to be very different than the dresses now. There wasn't a lot of explanation there. No, none of her like struggling into a dress, because she ends up getting like fine dresses. None of that. Teach's clothes as well, like a lord's clothes, right, are supposed to be like a certain way. Like, we never discussed that or what anybody's wearing. The carriages are never described in detail. Like, there's just, I feel like it's missing, and I feel like it could have painted a much better picture. And as I said, the history. This is kind of like historical, right? And the author at the back, I was reading, I think, the acknowledgements or the back jacket. She's like a history buff. She loves history. There's like no history in this. Part of the reason I picked it up was the idea that this is going to be set in London. It's going to deal with pirates. That is really cool. But like, it's not really actually discussed, which I think is so strange. And the idea of like Anne is trying to find the island that her mom comes from. That's where she wants to like escape to. The author in the acknowledgements discusses the island that she was picturing. I cannot remember once when it was actually mentioned in the novel. It was, the island where my mother's from. What island? Like, actually tell me about it. Like, give me more historical detail. Because if she is a history buff, which I didn't know when I was reading it, to me it just seemed like she didn't know what she was talking about. When clearly she must have the knowledge and the information, but she didn't include it in the book. And I don't know if it's because maybe I'm an anthropology major and I also like learning about history, that I picked this book up almost hoping for some of that history to come through. I don't know, maybe that's not what every reader's looking for, but I know I genuinely was. Spoiler alert for this last part. So if you don't want to hear the spoiler of the ending, goodbye. It was lovely chatting with you. I'll leave some links in the description for some of my other videos, like my last book review, and I do Minecraft videos usually, so I'll leave a link to that playlist there. But now, spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Okay, the ending. Now, I don't know if I'm just a bitter, someone who's bitter and mad that the romance didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but they don't end up together. Like, they do, but they don't. They finally realize that they love each other and could be together due to circumstance. I won't reveal that part. But at the end of the video, oh my god, the book, I guess this isn't, I'm not going to try to keep this as, like, less spoilery as possible. The end of the book, they end up separated. Like, not together, and they're forced apart. Okay? Like, this isn't by choice. And I'm not going to give too much details to reveal it all. But it's done in, like, the last, like, that much of the book, this all happens. And that's what I was saying, like, the plot just, like, completely changes. And I'm just like, there's no indication of a sequel. I kind of was hoping this wasn't going to have a sequel. I wanted, like, a singular novel. Like, the book did just come out, but I did check her website that's on the back, and, like, there's no indication of anything else coming out. Or anything. It's just kind of, like, the way it ends, I'm like, there has to be another one. But I don't know if actually I don't even know if there is going to be. Just, like, we do get introduced to the idea of Teach being Blackbeard at the very end. It's, like, kind of like the final, like, drop mic, walk away moment. But it just wasn't, I don't know. It was just weird the way they got separated, but there was, like, this burning love, but it was just, I wasn't happy with the separation. It's not the separation in general. I mean, obviously it hurt because I want them to be together. Like, they're about to get married, kind of. Like, I wanted them to be together. Also, just the way it happened, I wasn't a huge fan of. I get, like, where the plot was going. Like, it's a plot thing, plot device, and, like, obviously I'm supposed to be upset about it. But it was just, like, I don't know. I just felt like it came out of nowhere, and it didn't really fit the tone of the rest of the book, which, again, is the point. So this is more just me being, like, of course it's going to upset me. It's supposed to upset me. But, like, at the same time, I just didn't like it. And, like, I don't mind that they were separated. It just, you know, like, it just didn't sit right. And just, again, coupled with all of my other disappointments in the book, it, like, didn't mesh. But, yeah, if you stuck around through the spoiler, I'm going to give you my final, like, star rating. So I'm going to rate this 2.5 out of 5 stars. Just because while it was a nice little read and I kind of enjoyed some of it, overall, I was kind of disappointed with what I had expected to get out of the book when I picked it up off the shelf. So yeah, that's my video and review of this book. I hope you enjoy it. It's a little longer than I intended it to be. I get a little rambly. So hopefully the next video that I put out will be a lot shorter than this. Again, check out those links in the description to see if anything tickles your fancy. And I'll hopefully see you in the next book review. Bye!